Girl, I looked down and my hair was on the floor. What's up, beauties and gents? This is Tiffany back with another video. I've had so many requests about, girl, how did you start your journey? Tell us what happened. Give us the scoop. Give us a story time. So here we go. Okay, guys, as you can see, I'm outside trying to give you a different scenery. Y'all, it's hot out here. I don't know where you at, but I'm in Texas and it is about 90 something degrees and it is hot. So if you see me perspiring, sis, just hand me a tissue or something. Don't talk about me, okay? Okay, it is hot out here, so I'm trying to get my whole life together, but we're gonna bang this out. So let's talk about how I got started, why I got started, all the things. So I've always had a perm, always, never been a loose natural girl, nothing wrong with it. I think it's totally beautiful. I just knew that I did not have the time or patience for it. I started out working in the jail, and there was no way I was gonna be fooling with some natural hair, working up in the jail system, sweating and busting around, okay? Wasn't gonna do it. So always been permed, and I've had so many bad experiences throughout my perm journey. I mean, I've had like people color my hair wrong and over process it, and it was sliding down the drain when I washed my hair. I had people pull it out due to braids and tension, things like that. Somebody cut it wrong trying to get a bob and didn't tell me they didn't know how to cut no bobs. Child, I done been through it, right? And I always told myself one day I'm gonna get locks. Ever since my baby brother, what's up Dino, Dre, Drizzle, got locked up. His locks are gorgeous. I was like, one day I'm gonna be bold enough to do that. Didn't know if they would really look good on me though, y'all. So that was really my hesitancy, right? But I told myself, if somebody messes out my hair one more good time, or if I mess out my hair one more good time, I'm going to lock up. So here's how we got there. Beyonce concert was coming up. My brother had surprised me with tickets again. I'm a Beyonce fan. If you know anything about it, then you know. And he was like, hey, I want to take you to this Beyonce concert and I want to get your hair done. I'm like, oh, cool. I've been having my sights set on this young lady who did sew-ins and wig installs and frontals, and I always wanted one, right? So I'm like, I got the weave, I know the chick, all that. And my brother was like, no, come with me. Come with me to this shop. I know the perfect person to do it. We kind of know her, so it's kind of a family friend, like back in the day, kind of family friend type of thing. And I was like, oh, I don't know, I really want to use this other girl. But for some reason, he was so adamant about using this chick, y'all. So we go. And didn't really want to use her, felt a little disappointed, but I was like, hey, you know, you don't really have the money to get your hair done. You're about to go show out at Beyonce concert. You want to be looking fly. And he is basically like, this is who we're using. So what can you say when it ain't your coin, right? We going. So we go. And, you know, it went fine. We talked, we laughed, all those things. And when she got done, first of all, I'm tender-headed. Let's just start with that. Y'all, we 40 years old and still very tender-headed, okay? I knew that it was going to hurt. It always hurts to me. Everything hurts to me. So nothing really stood out to me, really. But over the course of like a week or two, when usually my hair starts to kind of like get used to the pain, it was still hurting so badly. Like I'm popping ibuprofens like they going out of style, you know? And it's like touching my head and I'm like, ooh, you know, just really tender. Y'all, about a month later, I'm like, okay. Almost a month later, I'm like, okay. This is not stopping. The pain is not stopping. It's just not stopping. Something is wrong. And I told my friends, I was like, and I remember telling my boyfriend at the time, like, my hair probably gonna come out because this thing is so tight. It is not loosening up. It's not getting better. The pain is actually getting worse. Something's not right. I need to take it down. So I finally take it down, and lo and behold, y'all, I am missing hair like Fred Sanford. Y'all, I got a little ring around my head from this side to this side of baldness, and it kind of went like from the edges here down and around over to the other side of here. And so yeah, I was missing some hair, and I mean pretty slick bald. It went from being just like moderate bald when I first took it out to like eventually I could do this and feel my scalp. I will pop a picture up here so that you can see kind of what it looked like. It was that way again all the way around. If you can imagine when an old man lose their hair and all they got that little ring around the sides. Oh Lord, that's kind of what I look like, y'all, except it was bald instead of the little hair being right there, right? So then I had to figure out, now my hair is really looking crazy. So I go and get it cut and colored. And I know some people are gonna be like, why'd you go get it colored when it was already damaged? At this time I was like, I don't care, it's already damaged. Now what we gonna do? So I went and got it cut and colored. It was super cute. But then I started really contemplating, like, okay, Tiffany, you said last time you were gonna get your hair locked up. What you gonna do? Baby brother comes down to visit, because at the time he was staying in a whole nother country, and he comes down and visits. And I'm like, oh my God, his locks look so good. You know, sorry if I hit the mic, y'all. He's grown. You know, the locks have grown out. They look so mature and so beautiful. Like, okay, Tiffany, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Probably in the state where a lot of you guys are, like, do I do it? Do I not? Do I want to? Do I not? Am I gonna look good with it? Am I not? You know, am I gonna want to keep this? Am I not? Are they gonna look like I think they're gonna look? Are they not? All those thoughts going through my head, you know? And I'm trying to figure it out. And I'll decide one day, like, okay, I wanna do it. But I don't wanna do the big chop. Like, I'm not doing the big chop. Kudos and shouts out, hats off to the sisters out here doing the big chop. Tiffany can't do it. I cannot do it. I was like, I'm gonna look real crazy. I cannot do it, right? So I'm talking to my brother and I'm whining to my brother, really saying like, man, I really want locks. I don't know what to do. You know, I don't want to cut my hair off. And me and him are going back and forth for like hours talking about possibilities and what I can do. And he was like, you know what? I think that there's a way that you can still do locks and not have to cut your hair off. Let me call you back. So he hangs up the phone. About an hour or two later, he calls back. He was like, you can do Sisterlocks. I'm like, what is that? He was like, look it up, Google it. So I did. And I'm like, oh my God, they're so beautiful. I think I've seen them before, but not sure. And so I started doing my homework, much like I'm sure many of you guys are that are watching this channel, trying to figure out if this is what you want. And I started doing my homework, and extensive homework, because I'm a reviewer, I'm look up things, I'm reading, and I'm like, okay, I think I want to do it. So that is when the journey to my Sisterlock officially began. Let me go back for a second though and talk about sister girl who did my hair, because I'm pretty sure you're probably wondering like, well, Tiffany, whatever happened with that? We never said anything. Y'all, I couldn't figure out was this a hateration thing? And my mind didn't go there first. My mind went first to like, maybe my hair was just thin and fragile. You know, it was permed, and here I was getting, you know, a sew-in, and maybe she just did it too tight. And then my next thought was like, okay, she kind of knows me, and everybody around here calls me Bougetta. And so maybe she was like trying to do a really good job for me and maybe over tightened it. And then the last thought was like, did she do it on purpose? Did she do it for some other reason that I'm not thinking about or don't want to have to admit? I never addressed her. I never talked to her about it, any of that. I just kept going with what I was doing, guys, because I was like, at this point, it doesn't matter. The hair is missing. It's done. Ooh, child, it's hot. Okay, let's go. Okay, guys, so after I did my extensive homework trying to figure out what in the world to do next, because now I know what I want, I just don't know how to get it. Originally, I will admit, I originally wanted traditional locks. I thought they were like so much more like pretty to me. I love how they are able to like slick back their edges when they need a retie, and they're able to put the gel on there and it looks so pretty when it's freshly done. But I wasn't doing the big chop, so Sisterlocks it was. And I was like, okay, I like Sisterlocks, you know, they're tiny, they're dainty. I love small dainty things, you know. And so I'm like, okay, that's good to go, let's do it. So I found out about the sisterlocks.com site, excuse me, and I go to it and I start researching who was in my area. And at the time, I had found a young lady who was here from Houston, who had started doing them from her home, and I went to her and got established. She did the best she could with what she had. I had to have at least, I want to say either an inch or 2 inches for her to be able to lock up. At the time, guys, this was back in the day now, I want to say it was about 600 or 650. And again, this is me with permed ends and with like maybe 2 inches worth of new growth. That's what she locked, was the 2 inches. So she locked it all the way up to the perm part, right? And so she did it out of her home. It didn't even take a full day. I think I went about probably went about like 8 o'clock, and she didn't get started probably like 10. And then I think we ended probably like 8, 9 that night. Generally, I hear they last like all the way into the next day, but since she was only locking my new growth, it did not take that long. And so yeah, that was the beginning of my journey. That is how it got started. From there, I have hopped around quite a bit from stylist to stylist, only because there's always something. One chick I went to, there was a lock. There used to be a lock right here. You decided to cut the lock. What are you doing? And she was like, oh, you're not even gonna be able to tell that that's missing. You're not even gonna be able to tell because it really shouldn't have been there. But did you ask though? Just throw it off. I don't know. And then like right after that, I came to pay her one day because the app wasn't working, and I came back and she wouldn't let me in to pay her. It was just crazy. So I left her, and then I ended up going like, let me try to go to Dallas and figure out if they're more like versed in this stuff. They do hairstyles all the time. Let me go to Dallas. So quick 2.5 story time, because sis in the comments said, hey, we need a story time on the chick that was cutting your hair. The second chick that decided to cut my hair. So I had the permed ends, guys, and it's because I wanted to. I know somebody in the comments said like, hey, well, you shouldn't have had them in the first place. There is no should, honey, because when it's your hair, it's your hair. I want y'all to hear me say that is contemplating getting these locks. Do not listen to people telling you what you should and should not be doing with your hair and your locks. This is your journey. You do your journey however you want to do your journey. Do you hear me? Okay, just want to make that clear. Okay, I wanted to keep mine because I felt more secure that way. I was able to style them. People were still giving me compliments. People wanted to know what the heck it was. How do I do it? How do I get it? Is it a hairstyle? Who's doing it? So that just shows you that even if you're not supposed to have it, it was still a go. It still worked, and it worked for me. It made me feel more secure in the hairstyle that I had at the time and the growth area that I was in. The first year is rough, guys, because it's slip and sliding coming down. I will say that permed hair actually helped my hair lock up at the ends like that, because it just helped it matte, because it was 2 different textures. So it was sliding from the top and not from the ends. So if nothing else, it helped me in that way. And so I kept those ends for quite a long time, and I started going to Dallas because down here was not working out. They were either like a lady who originally did my hair was like not keeping appointments. And I remember I went on a vacation and came back, and of course it's my very first retie, and she wasn't really helping me on like how to do the retie with such small locks. They had slipped. Quite a few of them had slipped, and I even warned her about it. And I came back to her and she had an attitude with me. So I left her, then left the chick to cut the lock up here because she was just crazy, and thought, let me go to Dallas. Okay, I went to Dallas, found a young lady who was a traveling nurse at the time and also doing hair from her home. She's very good at what she did. For it to be a home shop, it was very nice, pretty comfortable. She had some crazy rules, but it was nice. You actually left out of there feeling like you had been to an actual salon, even though it was at her home. But her attitude was so stank. I'm like, how do I keep running into these people with these stank attitudes? But it was because it was a side hustle for her. It wasn't a real job for her. It wasn't a full-time thing for her. I don't even know if half these people really care about the actual hair rather than the money they're gonna get from it, because a lot of them don't even do anything but lock up the hair, and that's it. Don't care about the grid, don't care about how they hurt your head, don't care about putting anything on it, none of that. Just lock it up, give me my little $100-something, and you go. So anyways, I was coming to her about 2, 3, 4 times. Again, I'm from Tyler. She was in like maybe Irving, and so I'm traveling to get to her with my daughter, and we would just make a weekend out of it. And I go up there to see her one day, and she would always say like, when you gonna cut these off, when you gonna cut these off? And I would just tell her, whenever I get comfortable, then I'll cut it off, you know. And so one day she got done, and I got up out of the seat before she could like do anything. And she turned to do something and forgot that she hadn't swept up what was on the floor. And I would hear her cutting, because everybody wears like these little cuticle scissors around their necks. Not everybody. My daughter does. A couple of people do that don't want to just pop the hair. They wear these little cuticle scissors. So if the locks are connecting when you pull them apart, you can just cut them apart rather than like popping them, which hurts like hell, by the way. And so she would be cutting, and I wouldn't really be thinking anything of it, because I'm like, okay, she's just cutting the connectors where the locks are trying to marry, which means the hair crawls into each other and locks. But I look down on the ground, and now, mind you, if you see in my lock visual, my permed hair was blonde because I had had it colored before. I look down, and there is just a pile of blonde on the floor. And I remember talking to my boyfriend at the time, every time I would leave, like, my hair looks so good, I like it, because he would be like, how do you like it? I like it, but it's so weird because every time I leave, instead of my hair looking longer, it looks shorter, and it's so weird. And I can't figure out what's going on. And I would be picking at my hair in the mirror, like, man, it looks shorter. I cannot figure it out, y'all. It would look good. The grid would look good. It would smell good. It would be moisturized. I mean, you literally felt like you were coming out of a shop. But my hair was getting shorter and not longer, and I thought something is strange. Until that day that I looked down and saw that pile of hair on the floor, and I was pissed. No other words about it or around it. Pissed off, mad. I can kind of tend to go from 0 to 100 sometimes, and I'm working on myself. Lord working on me. But I was like, it's not worth it. It's not worth saying anything. She's got a bad attitude. This could go so south. I'm just going to leave it alone and not come back. And that was the day that everything changed. Sorry again, guys, if the light is changing up and down. Again, we're outside, so that's gonna kind of happen. The Lord is doing his own thing, right? So anyways, I go from this young lady to now, what am I going to do? Now I'm back at the drawing board trying to find another person to do my freaking hair. Didn't want to do anybody in Tyler because there were only 1 or 2 to begin with, and the first one was the one that established me, and the second was the one that cut the front lock off my head, having me looking crazy for some weird reason. And so I went back to the drawing board, went back to Sisterlocks.com, had found a young lady in Dallas again. Again, traveling back and forth. She was cool. She did a great job. It was very comfortable, but she was always freaking late. And I ain't talking about like a little bit late. We talking about like 20, 30 hour and a half behind and late after you've driven. No compensation. No, hey, I'll cut something off your time. A couple of times didn't even show up and didn't even tell us. There was a time when traffic had got me, because it's about like an hour and a half, 2-hour drive, and we were going to be a few minutes late, and told us, oh, absolutely not, I'm sorry, y'all gonna have to reschedule. And we were almost to Dallas. So after so many times of her doing that, and I had lost a lock, my crazy self, picking the lock apart with the tweezers, trying to get the lint out. I had picked the lock completely off, y'all. It was in my hands. The lock funeral is on my Instagram if you want to go find it. I popped my Instagram up down here. We had a whole little funeral for Locky Lock, okay? I took it to her because you say you repair locks. She set that thing over on the windowsill and went back to what she was doing. After like the 900th time of her being over an hour and a half late, not compensating, low-key having an attitude because I'm frustrated, I decided like, okay, that's enough, that's it. And so I taught my daughter. We watched videos. I'll pop my favorite person that I learned from up on here. We watched video after video after video of hers, bought the tools from like nappylocs.com, and started teaching ourselves and I started teaching myself and teaching her how to do them. And now I just throw my daughter some coins or whatever it is she want or need, and she helps me keep it straight. Actually does a better job than some of them do, because she actually is able to like concentrate and straighten up some of the parts where a lot of them just are locking. They're not caring. My grid started to disappear because they didn't care anything about the grid. They just wanted to lock it up fast and get their money and get you on out the way. And so no oils, no nothing on your hair, just lock up and go. So guys, that has been my journey so far. I still have not found anyone that's full service. I do have a young lady here that's local, but again, she's just one of those lock up and goes, don't care nothing about your grid. I'm tender-headed, and she's in those spots where I had the tension alopecia. It's still so tender and it hurts so bad. I don't know if you can see like right up in here, that's kind of where the tension alopecia starts, and it kind of goes back. It's grown back quite a bit now. I will have to show you in my Locs and Products video some of the things I use to help it grow back that I swear by. I can't remember who told me about these products, but I buy it. It's like a cream that grows your hair back. It works. But yeah, I'm just trying to figure out my life and trying to figure out somebody who can actually wash and style and will actually put products on your hair when you get done. I want to feel like I'm coming out of the salon. I don't feel like just because we have locks, we shouldn't walk out of there feeling like we just got our hair done, you know? And so I do have a local chick that I go to, or that I will go to every now and then when my daughter is busy or we've got too much going on or I need it to be done like right then. Because if you know, you know. If you do it at home, it's going to take some days, maybe even a couple of weeks. But if I want to get it done fast, I will go to her, because all she's doing is locking up real quick $100 and it's done. But I do hope to find somebody one day, even if it's out of town, that will actually make me feel like I've been like pampered in a salon. So yeah, that's about it, guys. We do it at home. I will do a video on what all I use on my locks and what all I do, but that is it. That is the lock journey in a nutshell. Basically, I locked up because somebody messed my hair out again, getting them sew-ins. So ladies, be careful with them sew-ins, because whether it's somebody jealous of your hair or somebody just heavy-handed and doing it too tight because they're trying to make it lay flat, make it be pretty for you, if you have fragile thin hair, it's a bad idea. I wish that I had locked up many years ago, because I've had my hair messed out by stylists many times. I wish I'd done it a long time ago, and I'd be way longer than I am now, but that's okay. We're here now, and I hope that this has forewarned you about some things. I hope that it has encouraged you. If you have perm and you're like, I really don't want to do the big chop, just know you don't have to. That just means you would have to get Sisterlocks and not traditional or 2-strand locks, because you can get them with perm, but traditional locks, you need to basically start from natural hair. So your journey is your journey. Just remember that. Don't let nobody tell you different. I thank you so much for watching my videos. I appreciate everybody that has subscribed thus far and have joined my little family, my little Locky Lock family, girl and boy. I want to do a Q&A next, so if you have any questions, please hop over to my Instagram in my inbox and drop a question that you'd like me to answer in the next Q&A video. Until next time, stay locked, stay beautiful, and if you aren't locked, girl or boy, go ahead and consider it. This is your sign, and I'll see you next time in the next video. Bye.